The 365 Pro Wrestling. What is shaking 365 Nation? Eddie Osborne here. It is episode number 61 of the 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we have a special guest today. We have EZE Eric Cairnie, and you know what? I won't even be bringing you this interview. Today we have Miss Mandie Monroe. She is on deck. She is got the great questions. I think you'll really enjoy them. So let's join those guys right now.
Hi, Miss Mandie here. I'm here with EZE Eric Cairnie for 365 Wrestling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what got you into wrestling?
I watched it as a kid all the time, and I used to watch it with my dad, and I fell in love with it. It was amazing. And then took a field trip when I was in like grade 7. We went through Cambridge. I saw the Hart Brothers Wrestling School, and I just remembered it was there. So when I graduated, I just went back.
Just made it really real then?
Made it really real, yeah, exactly.
So what was it about it that made you like so drawn to it?
I was enthralled by the whole thing. I was just drawn in as a kid. Now doing it, it's the interaction with the crowd. It's the entertainment value to it that I get to do. But as a kid, everything was about wrestling. I just loved the production, the characters, the wrestling ability of these guys. It was just the athleticism. It was amazing.
Just like the whole immersion.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what was your first match that you had, Glenn?
My first match was me getting killed by a jacked guy named Siddhartha in, I think, what was probably a minute long. Yeah. I was only 3 months into training, and Eddie Osborne, who was my trainer, came to me and said, "Hey man, you want to get killed by Siddhartha this weekend?" I said, yeah, let's do it. And that was the end of that. And then and then I just started wrestling some of the other students around, and still getting killed by Siddhartha weekly. But it was good.
This all stemmed from there.
Yeah.
So, what would you say has like changed in wrestling over like from watching it as a child to like watching it now and being part of it?
The evolution of wrestling, just with the different moves that are being done and all the high flying ability, and it's a different form of entertainment than it used to be. And it's not a knock on wrestling. I mean, I loved it back then, but the styles have evolved, which kind of opens the door to everybody. Now there's anybody who says they don't like something about wrestling is not watching close enough, because there's literally something for everybody in wrestling. There's the high flyers, there's the grapplers, there's a guy who's just want to go out and be very physical and throw blows with each other. There's still characters involved in wrestling. So there's something for everybody. It's really opened the doors to a lot more people, a lot more viewers.
A lot more of a variety show then.
Yeah.
That's good. So what would you say has like stayed the same and like been one of your favorite parts of everything?
Stayed the same? Oh man, that's a tough question. Because it's changed so much.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, the grassroots of wrestling are still there. There's still those guys who, the entertainment. There's still the interacting with the fans. That's never really going to go away, because that's what draws people in. That's the psychology of wrestling. So that stayed the same. And the psychology in general, I think has pretty much stayed the exact same. And that makes it still easy to love it, because you can focus on so many things. But at the end of the day, wrestling still draws people in the exact same way as it always has, because we know how to play off people's emotions and get people hooked. And it's like watching a movie. You get 2 hours into the movie, you're lost. You're assuming you like the movie. You enjoy watching it, and that's what wrestling is. We're able to draw people in.
So it's a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff then. So how long have you been wrestling for now?
Too long. I think I'm going on at 12. This will be my 13th year, I guess, because we're after March.
Right. So what would you say is like your favorite style to wrestle? Like for your opponents have?
For my opponents, my favorite style, strong style. I'm a big strong style guy. I like that competitiveness, that hard hitting. I mean, I like to wrestle that style as well. I can wrestle multiple different styles, but that would probably be my go hard, hit hard, just keep drilling each other, fighting spirit, that sort of thing.
Okay, so who would you say was one of like your favorite opponents that you just love to wrestle?
Josh Alexander, definitely be up there as top. Michael Elgin, both guys are very strong style. But guys like John McChesney, who I only ever got to work once, but just phenomenal. But those could kind of be top 3 that I've been in the ring with. But then there's guys like Steve Carino that I've wrestled, Gangrel, like some of these guys I watched growing up. That was just surreal being in the ring with them. And those would have a high place. But as far as favorite opponent, it's probably Josh Alexander.
So, like, were you kind of starstruck, like, in the ring, or did it seem to go away as soon as the bell went?
No, I wasn't starstruck. I mean, it was cool to be in the locker room with them and that sort of thing. But I mean, as far as wrestling them went, it was kind of business as usual. It was definitely cool for the kid in me, but the professional side of me was just like, okay, we're 2 wrestlers. Let's go out there, have fun, entertain, do our thing.
Right. So again, it was just more about like the respect side of it than like his resume. So what would be your favorite wrestling theme song? Because there's some good ones out there.
Favorite wrestling theme song currently? It's probably Bobby Roode's Glorious theme song. It's awesome. Don't even know if he still uses it because he's in the tag team, but solid song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not very many situations that's not appropriate.
Right? Like if I could have that song every time I walk into a door, that would be awesome.
All right. So another kind of strange fan question. What is the best in-ring gear of all time?
The best in-ring gear of all time. That's craziness. Man, I'd probably have to say like some of Rey Mysterio's, all his gear.
Yeah.
All his WrestleMania stuff when he's coming out as like different superheroes, and that's probably some of the best stuff I've ever seen. Yeah,
he's got like, I'm sure, quite the collection if he can.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
So what is the most underrated wrestler in like the indie scene, would you say?
In Ontario, I really feel like it's Rex Atkins. I think he's not seen enough by enough people. Mostly because he goes on a lot of tours, so he's wrestling across Canada on native reserves, and he does more matches than probably anybody in Canada, but they're not seen by the regular viewing eyes for independents. But man, he's so good in the ring, and I just don't think he needs to be out there more. More people need, more fans, more promoters need to see him. He's unbelievable in the ring.
That's awesome. So going back to your own wrestling, is there anything you do like pre-match to get ready? Is there like rituals, anything like that?
No. I used to stretch. I don't do that anymore. Usually a Monster Energy drink. That'll be in there. But no, that's show up.
No post-match meal, nothing like that.
No, I try not to eat on show days. That's probably the biggest thing. But and then I just kill it afterwards. That's
awesome. So Batman.
Love him. Big fan of Batman. Yeah. What about him? What about him?
Is it like the universe or just Batman himself? Like, what is it?
He's great. His superpower is literally just being rich. He's awesome. He has the coolest toys. Right, the Batmobile is amazing, and then he just kills everyone. Just kicks the hell out of everyone. It's great.
So it's definitely Batman more than the like. Gotham universe.
But I'm a big fan of the universes too. But and Bruce Wayne. I mean, that's just what a great character. So good. It's amazing. Yeah. No, Batman's the man. I feel like Iron Man is just a cheap ripoff. But still, a big fan of that too.
Oh my god. So what is your favorite Batman? Because there's a lot of different versions of Batman out there. And why?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Christian Bale trilogy. Because I felt like it followed a lot of the comic books. It was darker than some of the Batmans that I grew up with. Like with George Clooney and Michael Keaton and those guys. Or even, I mean, I used to watch the Adam West Batman all the time too. And no, I'm not that old, but it was on repeat on channels, so I used to watch it. But yeah, I was a big fan of the trilogy series with Christian Bale. That was probably I could rewatch those all day.
That's awesome. So, what is your favorite Batman accessory then?
Batman accessory that he wears?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the belt. It's a bat belt.
Well, that's all of them then. You can't really choose.
No, that's
just the whole utility belt.
That literally is what makes him. And a perfect example is in the Adam West Batman. One time they were hanging over a shark tank, and then the next scene they were out, and he said, "Thank goodness I had that shark repellent in my utility belt." That's amazing. Who has that? Not Iron Man.
That's
tell you that much.
Oh god. So, do you have any advice for anyone wanting to get into the wrestling scene?
Yeah, find a good school, reputable school. Be humble, mouth closed, ears open. Learn. Don't come into something thinking you know everything, because you don't. And pay your dues. Show up to shows, set up rings. It sucks, but that's how you got to start. You got to learn the business from the bottom, and you have to respect the business, and finding a good trainer and just listening and asking questions, but not questioning what they're telling you, just to learn more. Mouth closed, ears open, head down, drive. Have that passion, have that drive. Never give up. Keep pushing through. It's going to get harder before it gets easier. So they need to know what they're getting into.
Definitely an upstream swim then.
Yes.
Perfect. So if you could give yourself personal advice before getting into it, what would that be?
Go to the gym more. Not hesitate on. I mean, it depends what your goals are in wrestling. For me, I wish that I had taken my tapes and stuff and sent them in to certain places while I was younger. Even if nothing came of it, the worst that would come of it is they give me some sort of feedback on body type or wrestling ability or what I'm doing in the ring, what I'm not doing in the ring, and then take that and adapt and learn and put that into my skill set so I can adjust that way. Now that I've been doing it for 13 years and I'm 35, now I feel like I've missed the boat on sending some of that stuff in. But so if I had to give early Eric advice, that's what it would be. Don't question yourself. Don't come up with the excuse that it's not the body type they're looking for, because you never know. Send it in, get the advice from the top guys to be able to change and adapt to an ever growing and evolving industry.
That's an amazing advice. Think for anything.
It's what I do. It's my thing.
Perfect. Well, thank you for doing this interview with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.